now. I'm sick and broken hearted, and I know what that song means now. Well, I heard him sing old blues and sing about the mules. Well, the years have passed quickly, and ain't nothing to say. Only I don't feel different, and you've hardly changed. Well, I guess what I'll say is I give one last night, 'cause you ain't a cowboy if you ain't been bucked off. You ain't a cowboy if you ain't been bucked off. It's pretty true. My grandpas are both ranchers and cowboys, and my great grandpas too, or some of them. My dad and my mom. And I grew up doing that stuff too. I'm always a little hesitant to say I'm a cowboy, because I mean I grew up that way, and I guess I rodeoed and I chased cattle and rode, so I guess I was. But it's just, I know guys that are like, it's kind of like being Ice-T and saying you're a street hustler still, because he's clearly not, right? And there's guys who are, and so out of respect for the cowboys who are actually working cowboys, and I don't go around saying that I am one, because people use that term really loosely these days, and that kind of offends me because it's my cultural heritage. But it really does mean something. It means someone who works with cattle, right? Cowboy. And there are guys who still do it, and so I defer to them. But anyway, when I was a kid, that's kind of getting back on the horse after you get bucked off is kind of it's become a wider cultural sort of saying, but it's very real a cowboy thing, because I remember when I was a kid, we had this fat old mare that we used to ride the kids when we were pretending to chase cows with Dad or whatever. I was probably 4 or something, and she was a pig, Susie. We loved her, but she was a pig of a horse. Anyway, I think she shook me off somehow. She didn't buck or anything, but I was just a kid. I fell off, and it's pretty traumatic when you're this tall and you fall all that way and land on your head or whatever. But my dad immediately put me back on the horse, like immediately. I was still bawling or whatever. He just stuck me back on the horse so that the fear doesn't set in, right? And getting right back on the horse after you get bucked off has become a metaphor for lots of things in life, but it actually is based in a real situation, and that's the situation. So this is sort of a love song, one of a long series of love songs that I've written that end up being about horses instead of women, or maybe some weird combination of both. But what can I tell you? This is another one where I had. This is a rewrite. I had this song. I've rewritten this song 3 or 4 times. Had it for years, like the melody and the general idea of it. But me and my friend Matt Skinner worked on this one day in San Marcos, where he's from in Texas, and fleshed it out. It was mostly there, but he helped me sort of dial it in and bring sort of a more Western flavor to it. And technically, it's a 6/8 song, which is kind of like a waltz. A waltz is 3/4 time. This is 6/8, which is similar. And I'm not a drummer, so I can't even tell you technically what the difference is, but I know it when I hear it. And it's kind of more. It's got more subdivisions, and it's a bit more textured, I would say, than a traditional waltz, like the rhythmic feel. You won't notice it here, but when the band plays it properly, when they're playing a 6/8 feel, it's a little more textured than a straight 3/4 time waltz. And the other interesting thing about this song is the bridge. I really like the bridge. We're in the key of E, so we're playing here. We're doing the verses, and then it goes up to the 4 chord for the bridge. Some kind of horses will leave you grabbing the breeze, busted up, broken up, scars you can't see. And then the 4 minor, like I've been talking about. But if you ain't been bucked off or been throwed a few times, don't count for nothing when you make that last ride. There's been a couple, 2 or 3 songs in this series where I've talked about going to the 4 chord major and then the 4 chord minor. Well, there it is again. So I'll use that trick again. I better stop using that trick. It's a good one though. But then after that part of the bridge, it goes into this big kind of background vocal textual, symphonic kind of tricky to pull off live because I never know which syllable to do when I do that stuff. I don't know if I should say ooh or ah or or what, but I'll work it out. But on the record, it turned out pretty cool. And like I said, it's basically about having the courage to start another relationship when you are afraid of getting hurt, which is a metaphor for getting bucked off.
Well, our legs have both been shattered, and I know what that song means now. My sons have both been slaughtered, and I know what that song means now.